don't swim in the sea. Incredibly, people have been spotted in the water here in Blackrock and Salt
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
Yesterday.
Storm's real name is Aurora Munro. She's a mutant in the Marvel Universe and is known for her ability to control the weather, making her capable of generating lightning, rain, snow, and even the winds of a hurricane. She was born to a rebellious Kenyan princess and an American photographer named David. Yeah, that's all I could find on him. Good on you, David. Though she was moved to Cairo, Egypt when she was 6 months old, originally from Harlem, New York, a few years after the move, her parents would be tragically killed when an airplane crashed into their home.
Buzz! We missed the truck! We're not aiming for the truck!
Leaving Storm as an orphan on the streets. She did what she had to survive and picked pockets and stole to try and live during this time period. Eventually, Storm leaves Egypt and heads south on foot with the goal of reaching her ancestral homeland. However, on the way, she nearly dies crossing the Sahara Desert, which triggered her mutant abilities, allowing her to survive and save the future Prince of Wakanda, T'Challa, as well. Of course, that prince later becomes the King of Wakanda and the Black Panther. With the discovery of her newfound powers, she sticks around the Serengeti most of her young life, bringing rain to those in need, which transforms her into a worshipped goddess. Which makes sense. If you had the power to control weather and brought rain to those who needed it, I think you were bound to be worshipped as a goddess. That's some crazy stuff. Before I get into her abilities, one of her comic-accurate powers is Storm is atmokinetic, which means she is able to psychonically control the elemental forces that preside over weather. For me, that's a ton of words that have no meaning, but I will try to explain this. This means that she can end a drought in one area by creating torrential rains there, but that would necessitate robbing all the available moisture from the surrounding area. She can intensify a light zephyr to a hurricane-type force, utilizing wind currents to carry herself and others off the ground, accomplishing flight. Now that we know who Storm is, we can begin to really understand her powers and the strengths they bring along with them. Marvel Rivals describes Storm as a long-range specialist who can damage enemies clustered together while empowering nearby allies and having free movement on the maps. Her passive ability is Constant Free Flight, granting her high ground advantage to attack enemies from above. Her primary fire, Windblade, launches projectiles that can pierce through enemies, meaning if a bunch of enemies are grouped up, her projectiles can hit multiple people in its path. Her secondary fire, Bolt Rush, launches a spell field in a straight line that deals area of effect damage. Storm's core gameplay revolves around her weather control, which grants herself and nearby allies with passive buffs. She can switch between two stances, Tornado and Thunder. Tornado grants a 16% bonus movement speed, while all of her allies gain an 8% movement speed. Thunder grants Storm a 16% bonus damage, while her allies also gain 8% damage boost as well. But the effect is only in a small area, meaning for anyone to gain those boosts, they need to be within a decently close proximity to Storm. But they make it easy for you to know where that area is. You will have a visible circle around you at all times, plus a counter showing how many friends and how many enemies are within that circle. Goddess Boost is a cooldown ability to temporarily enhance the effects of weather control for 15 seconds. This ability is controlled on whether or not you have Tornado or Thunder currently active. Enhanced Tornado increases Storm's movement speed bonus to 40% while her allies boost to 20%. It also slows down nearby enemies by 15%. Enhanced Thunder increases Storm's bonus damage to 30% while her allies up to 12%. It also summons Lightning to strike down nearby foes every 2 seconds. Enhanced Thunder is by far Storm's best non-ultimate ability. You can do tons of damage with her default ability and throw down some lightning every 2 seconds, and it can be really hard for healers to get anyone back up to full health from there. Storm is one of the only true DPS characters in this game, having unlimited heavy-hitting abilities, but it does come in waves. Once your Enhanced Thunder is done, you'll have to wait 15 seconds to have it reactivated, which in this game is plenty of time to get your shit rocked. Her ultimate, Omega Hurricane, allows Storm to teleport to the targeted location and summon a large hurricane around her and deal massive damage to enemies caught in it for up to 5 seconds. When first activated, Storm vanishes from the battlefield and the player has 5 extra seconds to choose where she'll spawn, but be careful. It has a long wind-up time. For some reason, when she wants to throw down her ultimate, she needs to read off a full page from her latest novel, which can lead to some aggravating deaths and loss of your ultimate for the same time. However, she does regain her ult faster than most characters, and with how powerful it is, this gives the enemy plenty of time to react as a team, choosing to scatter or maybe have a healer ult back and keep their team alive. Storm can also move while in her ult, moving from one enemy to another. Also, during this ability, she gains double her max health as bonus health. When coming out of the ult, it can be seen as blue in her health bar and will quickly disappear as you go back to normal. Her team-up ability is with Thor. When these two weather-manipulating gods are on the same team, Storm gains the ability to Charged Gale, which unleashes a chain of lightning that bounces between enemies up to 3 times, which, dealing with Thor and Storm alone, can make a sane person go insane, but her team-up ability really makes it difficult to keep my keyboard in one piece. Getting dove by Thor while also being shocked repeatedly by Storm in the background is tough. But that's what the team-ups are for. Make people want to team certain characters up, giving their team the advantage, right? Even with how strong Storm is, her ability's usefulness comes down to how well you can play her, as it does with any character. Storm is considered a low damage output character, not necessarily because her projectiles are bad, but because their hitbox is so incredibly small. You absolutely need to have pinpoint accuracy with her to be able to be useful in any fight. Unlike Helena, who has a point-and-click utility, Storm is a projectile, meaning you need to lead your shots. You can't just hover over someone and have it immediately hit where you're aiming, bringing an extra bit of skill to this overpowered character. Despite being in constant free flight, Storm has no access to quick mobility tools like Iron Man or Star-Lord, having to rely on the smaller speed boost from the Tornado weather control, even when enhanced, which is extremely frustrating when being caught out in the open. If your entire team backs out or dies, you're more likely to be stuck being the person everyone's gunning for. As a DPS, you're already a sponge. You can learn to play around that weakness, however, but in lower levels, you will hardly see any of them get out. Honestly, for how strong Storm can be, her weaknesses really even her out. I think the dev team did a bang-up job creating great balance in their characters. Some could use a little work. I hate Iron Man mains. I swear they are my downfall with their stupid chest laser. Please nerf them. With understanding who Storm is, we have her abilities, we have her weaknesses, but why is she good? According to Marvel Rivals data website, Storm only has a 1.66% pick rate in casual and an even lower 0.69% pick rate in competitive. But even with her pick rate being so low, she still masses a 50% win rate for a competitive and casual match. Her current low pick rate is a safe bet as to why she's a nuisance to deal with in game. While we are used to dealing with a Moon Knight or a Thor, Storm is an oddity pick that hasn't picked up enough steam yet. She isn't a character who most people know the abilities of just by seeing her. It's a bit of a game of surprise when fighting against such a powerful character. Also, with how vertical this game can be, her ability to fly everywhere she goes makes it hard for players to look up and see her. Especially in lower ranks, I've seen so many flying characters like Iron Man or Star-Lord have a heyday on people just by flying above them. Storm is also a true DPS pick, like I said earlier. She can have moments of true damage output, helping put other players that the tanks or other DPS are targeting at the moment. She also buffs her immediate surrounding, meaning if she is in a team fight, everyone around her will be doing more damage or moving faster than what they normally would be, either switching up what people normally track a strafe or enemies being deleted faster by other strong characters like the Winter Soldier, who now has an 8% damage buff. Her ability to not only be a good character alone, but also make everyone around her better contributes strongly to her effect. When teaming up with other characters, she is the know-all, bring-all to the bubble of usefulness. Imagine this, Rocket Raccoon giving unlimited ammo to Bucky, who on top of having unlimited ammo also has a 12% boost in damage. Like, how is that even legal? Okay, I could keep going, but I'm not going to. subscribe.